slope and y-intercept, graph the line. So the slope is -8. That means the slope m is -8. We can add a 1 in the denominator. It's not going to change. Now I have rise over run. So the slope is always the rise over the run. And the y-intercept 0 is 3. I can plot this on the graph. X is 0, y is 3. So here's the point. It's called the y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis. Since I have a slope of -8 over 1, I'm going to rise 8, but it's negative, so I'm going to go down 8 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the rise. And the run is 1, so I'm going to go +1, which means to the right side. So this is my second point. So now I have this point, 0, 3. I have this point, which is 1, -5. So this point is 1, -5. I can always read a point by going to the x-axis, which is 1, going to the y-axis, that's a -5. Now all I have to do is join those 2 points, and that would be the graph of the line. Let me see if I can use the tools here to graph this line. And so let me join these line points here. So I'm going to graph the line here. So this is the line, and I can extend the line to cover the whole page. Here we go. So this would be the graph of the line with a slope -8 and y-intercept 0, 3. So using those 2 points, I was able to graph the line. Okay, let's go to the next question. Given the slope and y-intercept below, graph the line. So in this case we are given m equals 5. I can always write this over 1 also. The intercept is 0, 0, so it's the origin. So the line is going to cross the y-axis and the x-axis at the same point, which is 0, 0. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run 1. And this would be my second point. So I have 2 points I can graph. So notice here, from this point 0, 0, I'm going to rise because 5 is positive, as well as 1 is positive. So I go up 5, write 1. And now again, I want to try to graph the line. So I'm going to use the tools. Here are the tools. So this would be the line. And I can also extend this line to cover the whole page. So this would be the graph of the line whose y-intercept is 0, 0 and has a slope of 5. Notice here I went up 5, right 1. So this point here is going to be 1, 5. So that point is 1, 5, this point here. Of course, this point is 0, 0, my y and x intercept. Let's go to the next question. Given the slope and y-intercept below, find the slope-intercept equation for the line, then graph the line. So this is the y-intercept, and this is the slope. If you refer to the equation y equals mx plus b, this m is the slope, which we already have. It's equals to 2 over 5. This b is called the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. This is called the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. And it's -3, so b is -3. So we're done. Y equals 2/5 x minus 3. This would be the equation of the line with slope 2/5 and y-intercept 0, -3. Again, the b stands for the y-coordinate of that point, which is -3 in this case. Let's go ahead and plot this line again. So we start by plotting the point 0, -3. So I'm going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the point 0, -3. It's always on the y-axis. The rise is 2. This is called the rise. And this is called the run. So I'm going to rise from this point. I'm going to rise up 2 and then right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the other point. And if you read this point, it's going to be 5 on the x-axis and -1 on the y-axis. Okay? So again, to plot this line, we start by plotting the y-intercept 0, -3. 0, 1, 2, -3. Then the rise is 2. So from this point, I'm going to go up 2 because both of them again are positive this time. And then I'm going to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now if I join these 2 points, that would be the line. Okay? So if I join these 2 points, this would be the graph of the line. Given the 2 linear equations below, determine if the graph of the given equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. 2 lines are parallel when the slope m1 equals the slope m2. So when the slopes are equal, by slopes I mean direction. When they have the same direction, the 2 lines have the same direction, they are called parallel. 2 lines are perpendicular when the slopes are negative reciprocal with respect to each other. So m1, let's say, equals 2/3. The slope of the perpendicular line, m2, would be negative reciprocal. So 3/2 is the reciprocal and negative. The reason for that, we want the product of m1 times m2 to be -1. So if you multiply 2/3 times -3/2, you will end up with, multiply straight across, -6/6, which is -1. So if the product of the 2 slopes equals to -1, the 2 lines are perpendicular. By perpendicular means they have a 90-degree angle between them. Or neither, they could be not parallel or perpendicular. So here, looking at this equation, it's comparing it to y equals mx plus b. I know that m is 2. So the slope of the first line is 2. Let's call it m1 as I did. Looking at this one here, that is a quick way of finding the slope. You want to divide the coefficient of x, a, by the coefficient of y, 3, and then throw a negative sign. This is the slope of the second line too. Okay, we can also change this equation to y equals mx plus b. Let's do that. So given 3y plus 8x equals 4, I want to write this equation in this format. So the first thing I want to do, I want to subtract 8x from both sides. This is called the addition principle. So notice that plus 8x minus 8x would be 0. So I have 3y plus 0. I don't have to write 0. This is negative 8x plus 4. Now to make these two equivalent, I have to isolate the y. So let's divide everything by 3. Divide everything by 3. So y would be negative 8 over 3x plus 4 over 3. So the slope of the line is negative 8 over 3, as I said. So m2 is negative 8 over 3. These two are not equal, so it's not parallel. Those two are not negative reciprocal with respect to each other, because if you multiply 2 times negative 8 over 3, you will end up with negative 16 over 3, because we multiply straight across. and this is not equal to 1 or negative 1, right? So that means these are not perpendicular, so the answer should be neither. Okay, so the answer is neither. Let's go to the next question. Write a slope-intercept equation of the line whose graph is parallel to the line. So a line parallel means it has the same slope. So the slope of this line is m equals 4, right? We always pick up the slope from the coefficient of x because the equation is y mx plus b. In this case, m is 4 and b is 3. So the slope is 4. So let's say equation of the line is 4. Equation of the parallel line should also be 4. So now we have the equation of the parallel line is 4 and has a y-intercept of 0, 5. So I can write the equation right away, 4x plus 5. Remember the 5 here is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept and the 4 is the slope. So which one satisfies this? It's A. Select your answer from the given choices. So y equals 4x plus 5. Remember we have the same slope 4 and the y-intercept is 5. So option A is the correct answer. Write a slope-intercept equation of the line whose graph is perpendicular to the line. So we have m here, negative 3. We want to find what is called the negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal. Of course, reciprocal means we flip the fraction. So this is a fraction. First of all, let's flip it. It becomes 1 over negative 3. Then negative again. Negative negative will make it positive. So this would be the slope of the perpendicular line. The slope of the perpendicular line is 1/3. Again, let's go back. We are given an equation of a line. We notice that m equals negative 3. We want to find a line perpendicular to this, and therefore we have to find the negative reciprocal of this point of m equals negative 3. So I can write this as a fraction, negative 3 over 1. First of all, I flip it. I get negative 1 over negative 3, right? If you flip it, you get 1 over negative 3. But then you want also a negative. See, the rule is negative reciprocal. Put another negative. So negative and negative becomes positive. And therefore, the slope of the perpendicular line is 1/3. So right away, this is out because this one is negative 3. This is out because this one is negative 1/3, the slope. Okay, now either this or that would be the answer because both of them have a slope of 1/3. Now the y-intercept is 0, 2. This one has a y-intercept 0, 2, right? Remember, b is 2 in this case. So C is the correct answer. C would be the correct answer because b is the y-intercept, it's 2. And the slope is 1/3. Remember, we found the slope here to be 1/3 and the y-intercept is 0, 2. Given the equation, state the slope and the indicated point of the graph. So let's compare this to the point slope equation, y minus y1, m times x minus x1. So comparing, we have y plus 3 equals negative 4, x plus 9. Now we don't have a plus sign, we have a minus sign. Notice here, same here, we don't have a minus sign, we have a plus sign, but we can do some changes. Let's do the changes. Y minus negative 3, notice that a minus minus is positive, so I haven't changed anything. These are exactly the same. Y plus 3 is the same as y minus negative 3. I do the same for this one, x minus negative 9. I haven't changed anything because negative negative is positive. But now I can compare with the general equation, y minus y1, negative 4, x minus x1. And what is first the slope? This should be m here. So the slope is negative 4. I can answer here that the slope is m equals negative 4, and the indicated point is x1, y1. So y1 is negative 3, x1 is negative 9, because now I satisfied the minus sign. I have a minus sign now. So y1 is negative 3, and x1 is negative 9. And this would be the point of the graph. Negative 9 is negative 3. So again, the way to do this problem is to write the point slope equation of the line, which is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Compare to the actual given point slope, y plus 3. We cannot compare because this is minus, this is plus. That's why I had to change this plus to a minus minus. And change this plus also to a minus minus. Okay, so now this minus is equivalent to this minus, right? So what is left is y1. Therefore, y1 should be negative 3, which is here. Same here. I have a minus. I satisfy my minus. So negative 9 would be x1, and that's what I have here. So this is x1, y1, and this is the slope of the line. Find a point slope equation of the line having the given slope and containing the given point. So we want to find a point slope equation. So we want to write the equation in a point slope equation. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We are given y1, we are given x1, and we are given m. So this is y1, this is x1, and this is m. Let's substitute. That's all what it takes to substitute. Y minus, what is y1? Negative 7 equals m negative 4, x minus x1 is 3. So you can finish this problem like this, or you can simplify. Minus minus is a plus, so we can write this equation as y plus 7 negative 4 x minus 3. And this is called the point slope equation of the line. Point slope equation of the line. Notice that the point is 3, negative 7, and the slope is negative 4. Graph the equation using the point and the slope. Okay, so let me compare this again. Y minus y1, 1 over 4, x minus x1. Notice here I don't have a minus, I have a plus. So what do? I change it to minus negative 3. Here I already have a minus, so I don't have to change anything. I just leave it as x minus 2. Remember that minus minus is plus, so I haven't changed anything. But now I satisfied the minus sign here. They're satisfied. So y1 is negative 3. Here I have a minus sign already, so I don't have to worry about doing anything. And then x1 would be 2. So this is the point 2, negative 3. And the slope is 1/4. Now we're ready to graph. Start by plotting the point 2, negative 3. So this is 1, 2. Down 1, 2, 3. This is the point 2, negative 3. We always start by plotting the x coordinate, then we plot the y coordinate, and this is 2, negative 3. Now we're going to rise 1, and we're going to run 4. So let's rise 1 and run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're done. All we have to do is join these 2 points. And this would be the line y plus 3 equals 1/4 x minus 2. This would be the graph of the line. So all it takes is plotting the given point, then rise 1, run 4, because the slope is 1 over 4. So 1 is along the y-axis, so that's why we're going to rise up. This one, we're going to go along the x-axis. That's why we have to run to the right to graph the line. Graph the equation using the point and the slope. Let's do the same. This is y minus y1, m, x minus x1. So already we have y. The minus sign is here. That's perfect. So y1 is 3 this time. Right? We don't have to do anything because we already have the minus sign. The m is 1/2, but here we have a plus. So what should we do with that plus? We should change it to 1/2 x minus -1. Minus minus is positive, so we haven't changed anything. But now we can compare. X is x, the minus here is minus, so x1 becomes -1. So the point is -1, 3, and the slope is 1/2. Let's plot this point -1, 3. So along the graph I have x is -1, this is -1, and then plus 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the point -1 plus 3, right? This is the point -1 plus 3. Then I have to, from this point, I'm going to rise 1. This is the slope. So this is rise, and this is run. So from this point, I'm going to rise 1 and run 2. And this is the second point, happens to be on 1, 4. Okay, so begin by plotting the point -1, 3. X is -1, y is 3, so that would be the point -1, 3. Then I rise 1, run 2 because it's a 1/2, and finally I join these 2 points. And this would be the graph of the line. Okay, this would be the graph of the line. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 1. X plus 1. Graph the equation using the indicated point and the slope. So again, what do we do here? We gotta change it to y minus y1, m, x minus 3, compare. This is plus, so what do we do with the plus? We change it to minus minus, because minus minus doesn't change, it's a plus 4, equals m is -2, and x minus 3, we don't do anything because we already have a minus sign here, so we're all set. Here the minus goes with the minus, so y1 in this case would be -4, and 3 is x1. So this should be an x1 here, and that means x1 would be the 3. Therefore the point is 3, -4, and the slope is -2. Let's plot over 1. Let's plot this line. So 3, -4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This point is 3, -4. We're gonna go down 2 and right 1. So let's go down 1, 2, right 1. So this is the other point. It's gonna be 4, -6. And then all we have to do, join those 2 points. This would be the line. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is plot the point 3, -4. This is 3, and then down 4. That's 3, -4. Then from this point, -2 over 1, we're going to go down 2 and right 1 because this is positive. So these are the 2 points that we need to join, and then just finish the line. Number 12. Suppose the birth rate among teenagers in a certain country measured in births per 1,000 females ages 16 through 20 fell steadily from 52.4 in 2000 to 37.3 in 2010. Graph the given data and determine an equation for the related line. Then use the equation to answer part A and B. Okay, so I'm going to assume this is the number of years starting here with 2000. So I'm going to call it 0 for 2000. Up here we have 10 stands for 2010. So this would be years on the x-axis. On the y-axis it would be those numbers, 52.4. They stand for the birth rate among teenagers. So this is 52.4 stands for 2000. So let's plot this point. 2000 is 0, is our starting point here, and 52.4. Let's assume this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 52.4 is here. So this point will have coordinates 2000, comma, 52.4, or you can just call it 0 if you want, 52.4. So either way should be fine because you want to estimate what is 2000. 2000 is the starting at 0 here. Alright, the second point, which will be at 37.3 and 2010. So this is 2010, and we're going to count 10, 20, 30, and this is 37. So somewhere here is 37.3, and this is 10. So it would be 10, comma, 37.3. And all we have to do is join those 2 points in order to graph the line. Okay? So this is how the line is going to look like. So again, we chose to have the points 0, 52.4, where 0 stands for 2000, the year 2000. And the second point is 10, 37.3, where 10 stands for the year 2010. Now let's try to make an equation. Given 2 points, we can have an equation. Let's have this equation. Y equals mx plus b, where x stands for the number of years after the year 2000, and y is the corresponding rate measured in births per 1,000 females, steadily from 52, so it's called the birth rate among teenagers. So the birth rate measured in 1,000 females ages 16 through 20, the whole thing. Okay, so let's find the slope. The slope would be change in y. So always to find the slope is going to be the change in y divided by the change in x. And the y's are here, so it'd be 52.4 minus 37.3. You have to be consistent. We started here, subtracted. The way I start here, subtract. 0 minus 10. So this is going to be, let's try to subtract 52.4 minus 52.4 minus 37.3. This will give me 15.1 divided 0 minus 10 is negative 10, and therefore this is negative 1.51, and this is called the slope of the line. Now it's a negative slope, and since we're going to start at the year 2000, we can estimate the equation to be negative 1.51x plus at the year 2000 or the year 0 we have 52.4. So remember, the 52.4 is the y-intercept, and our y-intercept here is 52.4. That's how we got this this slope. Okay, it's 52.4 is the y-intercept, and x is 2000 implies 0. At the year 2000, x is 0. So if you put x equals 0 here, you're going to end up with 52.4. So now we can answer part A and part B. If x start at 2000, 0, then 2004, x would be 4. So let's find y when x equals 4 plus 52.4. All we need to do is substitute for x4 to get the birth rate among this age group in 2004. If you do the math, you're going to multiply negative 1.51 times 4 and then add 52.4. You should get 46.36. So this is part A. On part B, if you do the same, but now 2014 means x would be 14, because remember x is 0 at 2000. Substitute here, multiply by 14 instead of 4, add 52.4. This number should be even smaller, 31.26. So if you continue here, 10, 11, 12, 14, maybe somewhere here, then this would be the corresponding value for this value. Again, 2004 would be somewhere here. So these are the answer for A and the answer for B, which we figure out those answers by using the equation y equals negative 1.51x plus 52.4. Okay, the last question, consider the line below. Find the slope and the y-intercept. So remember, if you compare this to y equals mx plus b, m is 2 over 7, and b is negative 9. Therefore, the y-intercept becomes 0, negative 9. Which one is right?